Yeah,
Oh.
Sachin, I actually have a question for you on
Yeah.
this topic because we've talked about this a little bit, and you've written about this, I think, as well. DuckLake. So like, how does this play into this whole space? Right? They do the catalog problem a bit differently.
Yeah. So essentially, what?
Sorry. This question was actually for Sachin. I hope to get your
Oh,
comment as well on this, but
yeah.
Sachin, if you maybe could start on this.
Yep. DuckLake is pretty interesting when we were talking about, like, as Alex recently mentioned, on managing. Most of the companies are trying to control the catalog,
Mhm.
right? Now, DuckLake just came with this: don't store your metadata into your file storage, like
Mhm.
object storage. Instead of that, store it into your databases, which support SQL, right? Now they are saying that with this storing those things, like all your so there are like three ways of decoupling. One is you're decoupling your metadata. So earlier there was two ways decoupling, where we had decoupling of your data and compute, storage and compute. Now we have a decoupling at metadata layer as well, where you store your metadata at your SQL based, maybe your Postgres service or whatever, right? So now what they are saying is, with this petabyte of scale of data, you can have huge concurrency, which Iceberg cannot tolerate. With That's one point. The other point is that they are saying is, with petabyte of data, you can do query planning and metadata scanning, all those things within 2 milliseconds, which the code S3 would take maybe hundred of milliseconds. So
Mhm.
this is from their podcast. This is from their blog and documentations. We'll definitely love what Alex thinks on this, and
Yeah.
what his thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the fundamental idea of saying, "Hey, what if we stored the metadata in a database?" Um, I do think sometimes like they oversell the idea a little bit. Like, because the thing is that it's not something you can't do in Iceberg. Iceberg has something called the Iceberg REST catalog. Essentially, it's a uniform interface for dealing with Iceberg catalog. Now, essentially, this abstracts away the whole metadata fetching in Iceberg. So someone could create a catalog, and most catalogs do a level of metadata caching into a database that's actually doing this already. And then like a lot of the concurrency stuff is really going to be more less related to a lot of these factors, more to how the engine runs the query. Okay, so like for example, like an engine, and again, just speaking because this is what I know. I know Dremio can handle pretty much those kind of scales because Dremio, along with accessing the Iceberg, does a lot of caching along the way, and also is able to scale out its engines to hit those scales. So in that case, like we have customers doing stuff like that with Iceberg, so it is possible. And then also, it's again, as far as the fundamental design change of, hey, let's store the metadata in the database. That's something you could do with Iceberg. They could have just as easily created another Iceberg catalog that just took this fundamental design philosophy. The problem is they've created a whole new format, which means there's a very limited like theoretically, yeah, great, it's faster, but no engine supports it. Like basically, you can use DuckDB and maybe Spark, but now pretty much every other tool, and then it's already a tall ask. Like you've already seen this this is the reason why